Hey, this is Cold Turkey throwing down with Fallout New Vegas. Where did we leave off? We were helping out the old doctor. This part of the quest chain, we're actually helping out the camp in general. Been doing some things, taking back some towns, finding some supplies and whatnot. But in this particular part, we got to help out the old doc. Calling Dr. Tookie. Calling Dr. Tookie. So if you have a really high medicine, pretty easy to do. But if you don't, that's alright. If you have a medicine, say in the mid-20s, mid-30s, don't worry. All you need is the proper medical equipment and you can treat the patients. The only thing that you won't find on the trays and tables within the medical tent itself, if I'm not mistaken, is a super stim pack, what you will need for the most messed up patient. Everything else you should be able to find, tweezers, braces, things like that. It's like a little mini doctor game within the game. Ooh, did I just cut that guy's leg off? Oh boy. Had to amputate. Doctor, doctor, give me the news, I gotta... Wait. Well, I don't remember how the rest of the song goes. So we're helping out the doctor. We just need to get these 3 patients. Then you talk to old Doc Richards. He's like, oh yeah, hey, that's a good job. Thanks for helping out the patients. Although if you screw it up, it is kind of funny. I wouldn't recommend that though, unless you're a jerk. Then go ahead and do it. Okay, so we helped out the doc. Now we gotta go talk to the major again. Good job, son. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. And we're pretty much done. Because we already helped take back Nelson, this whole quest chain with the camp is done. But remember that the doctor asked us to find the thief. Go into sneak mode, wait until about 2 a.m. or so, and then boom, you catch the thief in the act. Private Stone, as in stoner, drug stealer. You can hook up a deal with them, you can turn them in, get them into the prison, do whatever you want to do with them. I'm going to wait till morning. Sleep on the ground here. Alright. Dr. Richards, your medical disappearance problem is over. Alright, sweet. About to hit level 14. That's what I like to hear. So for the most part, we're done with that area. Then remember, we also had a quest, Return to Cinder, that we got from the lady in the big tent who was working the radios. Like I had mentioned in my previous commentary, this is a really good quest because it has you going into ranger stations all throughout the Mojave. So it's really great because it gives you a ton of places to explore. You can get some pretty good experience if you make sure to kill all the enemies you encounter along the way. For instance, these golden geckos that are relatively close to where I need to go. Eat 10mm, punk. Come on, Boone, help me out. Why does Boone always have a different Legion helmet on? I must have been screwing with him. Must have just been doing something dumb. Oh well. So, we're gonna go and find... Oh, no, there's another golden gecko. Come here. Alright, that was easy. Mowing them down. Like I was saying, we have got to go to the ranger stations. They're pretty spread out, and then, of course, they always yell at you when you get there. Hey, what's a civilian doing here? But it's all good. Then we got a long ways to go. We got to go hiking. That's one of the things I actually enjoy about this game, is when you just walk. I really wish the game world would be bigger. You know, that's one interesting thing about Fallout New Vegas. If you look at the map, there's all these regions that are unexplorable, and there's actually mods you can get. I believe Invisible Wall Remover is one of them, which allow you to explore beyond the invisible walls that the game sets up into completely undeveloped terrain. And it's really interesting. Maybe I'll make a commentary on that with a couple of mods where you can just explore the parts of the game that the game never intended for you to explore. Alright, so we're at Ranger Station Echo, walking around stealing some things here and there, as per usual, seeing what I can get away with. The old 5-finger discount, if you will. Calm Officer Green, he's pissed, as usual. Here's your codes. Now get out of my face. So now that we're done with Ranger Station Echo, we gotta go up to Ranger Station Delta. Looks like I already had this one explored, so this should be a bit easier. Some of these you might have already explored. Some of them you might not. Now we're gonna head to the... Ooh, what's that? Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Let's find out what's in here. Come on. No. You know, that's another thing I should make a commentary on, is the lockpicking. Somebody had asked me about that. It's actually not too hard. Basically what you do is you just rotate it until you can feel it stop moving, and then depending on what happens, you move the piece of metal to the right or to the left, and as you move it to the right or to the left, it'll either move more towards unlocking or move less towards unlocking, which will give you a general idea of where the direction you should move it is. So if you start in the middle and it only goes a third of the way, then you move it to the right a little bit and it goes 2/3 of the way, then you know that you need to move it to the right a little bit more than likely, to get it all the way. Unless, of course, it's a very hard lock. Like the hardest locks in the game are really a little bit more difficult because you have to have pinpoint accuracy. You have to have your lock pick at the exact proper position, and it can be difficult. So I don't know, maybe I'll make a commentary on that, although I think the description I just gave is confusing enough to not be helpful. What does that poster say? You are his bitch. Oh, wow. Ranger Station Alpha coming at you live here in Mojave. Woo! Okay, now we're going to head up more towards the area where we would have done Boone's Quest and go to the Ranger Station up there. Probably going to take care of a couple things along the way. Stupid giant mutated flies. I don't know. I can't remember how to pronounce them. Is it Catazor or Cadezor? I think it's Catazor. I'm not 100% sure. These things are pains. Now, I've talked about them in previous commentaries, but you're going to have to fight these things in certain areas, and they are such a problem. The biggest reason is because they poison you. Now, one of the great things about the DLC Old World Blues is in Old World Blues you get a cybernetic heart, which makes you immune to poison, which is fantastic. And that makes taking on these giant mutated flies a whole lot easier, let me tell you. Wait a sec, what is it? Oh, it's Cazador. Cazador, that's what it is. Giant mutated flies. Cazadors. The dirty rats. So yeah, they do a lot of damage. They're hard to shoot at long range because they're always flying to, from left to right, so they can be a real pain to pin down. And then to top it all off, they poison you. Absolute jerks. And if you're in hardcore mode, which I am, this can make it even more difficult because they can actually kill your companions. So you've got to be careful. And this brings us to the part of the commentary where I say the same thing that I always say every time I talk about Fallout New Vegas, because it bears mentioning, it bears repeating. I am playing on very hard difficulty, hardcore mode, and this is not a 100% complete playthrough. I'm not going to explore every location, I'm not going to do every quest, but I'm going to do my best. So we got Bitter Springs discovered. Now Bitter Springs is where we're going to take care of Boone's companion quest. I forgot to remember to forget, but we'll take care of that later. For now, we're going to be focusing on transmitting these radio codes to all the given ranger stations because it's going to let us explore a lot of areas. Speaking of companions, usually every companion has a quest. Some of them will work a little different than others. With Boone's, you have to get your like points with them, and then of course, as you talk to them, you can get your quest. But with somebody like for instance, Veronica, you have to explore certain locations, which will unlock dialogue. Talk to her. Cassidy's a bit different because when you get her, she'll start the quest right off from the bat. Hey, let's go check out all those destroyed caravans. And then you just go and do that, and then you can kill people or find evidence. One more ranger station left, all the way on the other side of the map. Oh boy, will I be able to find it. Let's go looking. Oh, Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters. Yes, sir. Let's stop by for a pleasant sip while we're marching on the Mojave. Actually, you know what? I'll just cut out a lot of the walking footage. Really, I could make the next 3 commentaries just on me exploring the Mojave, because in-game, that's how long it would take. I'd be walking forever, going from one location to the other, but we don't need to go into that amount of detail. When we get up to the Thorn, this is a nice area because we're getting into the west side, and there's a few quests going on in this area, and also dealing with the followers of the apocalypse in this area as well. So it's a good zone just to have under your belt. But from the Thorn, we're going to head out pretty much straight west for a while, and then we're going to hook more towards north-northwest. And up there we're going to find a few things. One interesting thing is we'll find one of Cassidy's wrecked caravans, and if you're playing with Wild Wild Wasteland as one of your, I don't know, not necessarily perks, but traits or whatever they call them. If you're playing with Wild Wild Wasteland, you will also find an alien ship and alien soldiers who just happened to drop the Alien Blaster, which is an amazing weapon. If you don't believe me, go to the Fallout New Vegas wiki and look it up. Check out its stats. It's pretty incredible. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there's the caravan, and then the farmstead is kind of north of the caravan, and the aliens are a little bit north of that. So let's get these exploration points and figure this out. Is that more? Oh boy. I saw a giant fly over there. Man, I hate those things. And that Silver Rush sign is ironic, because it's the Silver Rush guys who ended up burning the caravans. Ha! They had their own signs by their own ambush. Okay, anyway, time to get serious. Pulling out the service rifle. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty drugged up at this point. I think I did some jet and some buff out and, maybe a little psycho here and there. So just take out the aliens. You can aim. You got Boone with you anyway, so it wouldn't be that bad. The alien captain is the guy who drops the actual alien super awesome gun. The other 2 aliens, they got tri laser rifles. Sometimes they'll be in such poor condition, though, that it's almost not worth it. Woo! I almost died there. Look at my hit points. Man, getting low. Yep, tri-beam laser, right? That one was actually in pretty good condition. What do we got here? Dun 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 dun! Alien Blaster. Now, one of the things about the Alien Blaster is, yes, it's amazingly powerful. However, there's very limited amounts of ammo. Every time you kill the alien captain, he's going to have a certain amount of alien blaster ammo on him. It'll be anywhere between, I think it's between 150 and 180. I can't remember the exact amount. But typically you'll find about 160 something or 170 something. Okay, we're going to be heading more towards our last ranger station here. Looks like we got a little bit of a detour first. I believe if this is the follower of the apocalypse. Yep, you can see the sign. Follower safe house. That's a good location to get. If you want to get up really, really high reputation with the followers of the apocalypse and join them, that could be a good safe house for you. But we are not too worried about that. I just like to make sure to get that location because it can be helpful for quick travel points, especially when you got to go down from here towards, I think it's Vault 22, where all those plants are. Can't remember the exact number. Uh-oh, Legion assassins. Dun, 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 dun. No, you can't kill Boone. Die. Now, this is another interesting thing in the game, is if you get in bad with the Legion, which will happen, right? Sometimes you piss the Legion off because you killed all of them. They'll start sending assassins after you all the time. And they can really screw things up because sometimes the Legion assassins will come at you when you're dealing with NPCs, and they'll kill the NPCs. So you got to be careful when these guys show up. Make sure to quick save a lot, or you can trust autosave if you want. I don't trust autosave. That's a habit I have from Fallout 3. In the original Fallout 3, autosaves could become corrupt, so you learn to rely on manual saves, just doing quick saves yourself. Now, Fallout New Vegas, autosaves don't become corrupt like they did originally in Fallout 3, although I'm pretty sure Fallout 3 patched that after it was released, but that was a long time ago. Let's make sure we loot these corpses here and there. But yeah, make sure you save at some point, especially with these Legion's assassins coming in, because they'll really screw you over if you let them. They'll kill your NPCs, and they're just big jerks. Ruby Hill Mine, on our way to discovering this ranger station, we need to stop by the Ruby Hill Mine. Now, there's a couple of locations like this within the Mojave. They're caves that have some monsters, and then have unique weapons being guarded by those monsters. And here, we're going to find Pushy, which is the highest DPS unarmed weapon in the vanilla game. So unarmed weapon would be like Power Fists or Spike Knuckles or something like that. Well, Pushy has the highest overall DPS. Now, it doesn't have the highest burst, ironically enough. For that, you want a Ballistics Fist, which just has barely lower overall DPS, but higher burst damage. So it's a trade-off. Either way, I end up going with Pushy, especially when I get Veronica. I like to equip her with it. She does an amazing amount of damage if you equip her with Pushy, and it looks really, really cool. Yeah, sure, some people like to go with the Ballistics Fist, but I think because Pushy is unique, technically has higher DPS, and looks amazing, I go with that. Then up here we have explosive crates. Remember, we got the key off that corpse along with the unique power gauntlet or whatever. So we'll loot these while we're here, and then make sure to take a dive in the water when you're in the mines. You're going to find a super mutant who was playing poker. Let's see if we can loot off him. He's got a few good things. Let's see, what does he got? Center, oh yeah, multi-pass rifle. That's right. So he's got a few things that are worth a little bit. It looks like he didn't win his poker game. Oh well. Was he playing with humans? How weird. Yeah, I think he was. He was the fourth player. He was like, I hold. No, can't steal the cards. Oh man. That'd be cool if you could get another deck of cards by stealing them from the table. Anyway, done with the Ruby Hill Mine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head on to our last ranger station. Who do we talk to? No, we don't talk to her. Of course, once we're done with all these ranger stations, we have to go back to the comm officer in Camp Hope, and then she'll give us a couple more pieces of the quest. It's like a 3-part quest, I think, and in the end, we'll end up confronting the leader of the Rangers himself. Oh boy, political intrigue at its finest. Comm officer, oh, she's a wuss. Sent to kill me. Blah, 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 whatever. Well, I think this is as good a time as any to wrap it up. This is Cold Turkey. Thanks for watching.